Welcome back to our Digital Electronics series. In this session, we will explore registers, one of the most important storage elements in digital systems. We will learn about different types of registers and understand how they store binary data. We will also see how registers support processing and why they are essential in processors, controllers, and data path design. Let us get started. Now let us understand what a register is. A register is a group of flip-flops used to store multi-bit binary data. Each flip-flop in a register can store one bit of information. When multiple flip-flops are connected together, they can store multiple bits of data, which we call an n-bit register. Another important point is that all flip-flops in the register share a common clock signal, which allows them to update their stored data simultaneously. For example, a 4-bit register requires 4 flip-flops and can store 4 bits of data. Similarly, an 8-bit register uses 8 flip-flops to store 8 bits. In larger digital systems, such as processors, we often use 32-bit registers, which require 32 flip-flops to store 32 bits of data. Let us look at a simple example of how a register works. In this diagram, we have a 4-bit register made using 4 flip-flops, labeled FF0, FF1, FF2, and FF3. Each flip-flop stores 1 bit of data. The input data enters the first flip-flop, and the stored bits appear at the outputs Q0, Q1, Q2, and Q3. All the flip-flops share a common clock signal, which means the data moves through the register on every clock edge. The reset signal is used to clear all the flip-flops and initialize the register. Now let us understand the operation. Initially, the register contains 0. When the first clock pulse arrives, the input data is stored in the first flip-flop, producing the output at Q0. With the second clock pulse, the data shifts from Q0 to Q1. With the third clock pulse, it moves from Q1 to Q2. Finally, on the fourth clock pulse, the data moves from Q2 to Q3. In this way, the register stores and shifts data step by step using clock pulses. The different types of registers used in digital systems. First, we have the SISO register. What does it mean? Oh, it stands for serial in, serial out. In this register, data enters 1 bit at a time, and it also leads 1 bit at a time. It is commonly used for serial data transfer and delay operations. Next is the SIPO register, or serial in, parallel out. Here, data enters serially, but becomes available at the outputs simultaneously in parallel form. This type of register is mainly used for serial to parallel data conversion. The PISO register, or parallel in, serial out, performs the opposite operation. Data is loaded into the register in parallel and then shifted out 1 bit at a time as serial output. This is commonly used for parallel to serial conversion in communication systems. The PIPO register, also known as parallel in, parallel out, loads and outputs data simultaneously, yes, in parallel form. It is primarily utilized for rapid data storage and transfer within processors, as well as digital systems. Another significant type is the universal shift register. This versatile component can perform multiple operations, such as shifting left, shifting right, parallel loading, and holding data. Due to these remarkable capabilities, it is aptly named a multifunction register. We also have special-purpose registers, such as the Accumulator, which stores arithmetic and logic results from the ALU. The address register stores the memory address of data or instructions that the processor needs to access. Finally, the status register, also called the flag register, stores condition flags like carry, zero, sign, and overflow that help the processor make control decisions. Together, These registers play a critical role in storing, transferring, and processing data in digital systems. This is a SISO register, which stands for Serial In, Serial Out. In this type of shift register, data enters one bit at a time through the serial input and also leaves one bit at a time from the serial output. The register is built using multiple flip-flops connected in sequence. With each clock pulse, the stored data shifts from one flip-flop to the next stage. For example, in a 4-bit SISO register, the first clock stores the input bit in the first flip-flop. The second clock moves the data to the next stage, and this shifting continues until the data reaches the final output. SISO registers are commonly used in serial data transfer and delay applications. This is a SIPO register, which stands for Serial In, Parallel Out. In this type of shift register, data enters one bit at a time through the serial input. Each clock pulse shifts the stored data from one flip-flop to the next stage. After several clock cycles, the bits stored in the flip-flops become available simultaneously at the outputs. In this 4-bit example, the outputs Q0, Q1, Q2, and Q3 together represent the stored data in parallel form. The reset signal clears all flip-flops, and the common clock controls the shifting process. SIPO registers are commonly used in serial to parallel data conversion, in communication and digital interface systems. This slide shows a PISO register, which stands for Parallel In, Serial Out. In this type of shift register, multiple bits are loaded into the register simultaneously through the parallel inputs P0, P1, P2, and P3. During the load stage, these bits are stored in the flip-flops FF0 through FF3. After the data is loaded, each clock pulse shifts the stored data toward the serial output. As a result, the bits leave the register one at a time in serial form. The reset signal clears all stored bits, and the common clock controls the shifting operation. PISO registers are commonly used to convert parallel data from processors into serial data for communication and transmission systems. This slide shows a parallel register, also called PIPO, which stands for Parallel In, Parallel Out. In this type of register, multiple bits of data are loaded into the register simultaneously through parallel inputs. In this example, the inputs P0, P1, P2, and P3 are stored at the same time in the flip-flops FF0 through FF3. Because all flip-flops share the same clock signal, the data is stored and updated simultaneously on the clock edge. The stored bits appear at the outputs Q0, Q1, Q2, and Q3 in parallel form. Parallel registers provide fast data loading and are commonly used in processor data paths and digital storage operations. This slide explains the buffer register. A buffer register is a temporary storage element. It holds data before transferring it to another block in a digital system. Its main purpose? To ensure smooth and stable data movement between different parts of the system. A buffer register helps match timing between blocks, prevents direct overload on the source block, and supports controlled data transfer. These registers, yes, they are commonly used in CPU to bus transfers, interfacing between subsystems, and pipeline stage storage. Moreover, they are also used to temporarily hold ALU results, or memory data, before the data moves to the next processing stage. This slide explains the accumulator register. An accumulator is a special-purpose register used to store the intermediate and final results of arithmetic and logic operations. It works closely with the ALU, which is the arithmetic logic unit of the processor. When the ALU performs an operation, the result is stored in the accumulator. This stored value can then be used again in the next operation, allowing calculations to be performed efficiently. Because the accumulator holds and reuses results, it reduces unnecessary data movement inside the processor and speeds up sequential calculations. A typical operation is ACC equals ACC plus data or ACC equals ACC minus data. This slide explains the data register. A data register is used to store input data, operand data, or intermediate results during processing in a digital system. Its main role is to temporarily hold data before it is processed, transferred to another block, or written to memory. By storing data locally inside the processor, it allows faster access and smooth movement of information between functional blocks. This helps reduce the need for frequent memory access and improves overall processing speed. Data registers are commonly used to store operands for ALU operations, hold intermediate results of computations, and temporarily store data during CPU and memory transfers. This slide explains the address register. An address register stores the address of a memory location that the processor needs to access. Instead of storing the actual data, it stores the location where the data or instruction is found in memory. Its main role is to hold the address during read or write operations and help the CPU communicate with memory in an organized way. Address registers are very important because they allow the processor to identify where information is stored and support instruction fetch and data transfer operations. Common examples include the Memory Address Register, or MAR, which holds the address of the memory location being accessed, and the Program Counter, which stores the address of the next instruction to be executed. This slide explains the Status Register, also called the Flag Register. The status register stores condition flags generated after arithmetic or logic operations performed by the ALU. These flags indicate the result status of an operation and help the processor make control and branch decisions. Each flag is typically a single bit that represents a specific condition. Common flags include the carry flag, which indicates a carry or borrow in arithmetic operations. The zero flag, which is set when the result is zero. The sign or negative flag, which shows that the result is negative. And the overflow flag, which indicates that a signed arithmetic result exceeds the allowed range. These flags are very important because they support conditional branching, comparisons, and decision-making instructions inside the processor. This slide explains the instruction register, also called the IR. The instruction register stores the instruction that has been fetched from memory and is ready to be executed by the processor. After the processor fetches an instruction, it is placed in the instruction register. The control unit then reads this instruction and decodes it to determine the required operation. This process is part of the instruction cycle, which includes the fetch, decode, and execute stages. By holding the current instruction, the instruction register helps the processor execute operations in the correct order and ensures proper control of the program flow.